Yeah, because you got live right now, upcoming. Go to our thing. Let's go to shorts. So what you can you see my screen, Spikes? Can you see my screen, Spikes? We lose you?
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Okay, let me see. You can see my screen. Okay, so this, this man, what happened? This is the restaurant right here, Spikes. Damn, what happened? Walk through it. Damn, I want to go. What happened? Where am I at? Damn, why can't I go down to? Damn, it won't let me go. It won't let me go to the restaurant. Hold on. They will not let me go to the damn restaurant. Well, them trying to show won't let me go to the damn restaurant. Now, you guys remember this one?
Okay.
Bro, you live? Let me get
That's on
it.
TikTok, right? That's on
Uh,
TikTok. Yeah, we live.
you know,
Yeah, I'm
well,
live.
okay. Now this actually don't got. I put on TikTok and also put on YouTube. This shit right here with Wallace. I ain't made a goddamn dime off this shit. That's why I had a lady go out there. I lost thousands of dollars on bullshit. Thousands.
the,
So
la-
I got a
the
lady. So
last
I had a
time we
lady.
were talking. Yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No,
Go
I'm
ahead.
saying the
What?
last time we were talking about it, you told me he was up to the task. The last time you were talking about
Yeah.
it, you told me he was up to the task.
Well, I thought it was up to the task, Spikes, where it's been
But that
fucked
was
up.
a couple of months ago. But
How
it's still
long?
fine.
How long than months ago, goddamn it, it was years ago. So this shit here, I had a farming specialist go out there to Kenya to dig all this shit up so we can start something different. All these damn greenhouses, I put money. Ain't this shit ain't made no money at all. It should have been a complete waste. This shit, this shit.
But what happened? Was it because of the blight? Was it
He said he said
was it the
it
cold
came out it
and the
came
blight?
out good. I don't know if it was blight. He said it was cold, but we got a greenhouse. Why should it be cold, Spikes? That's why we got the shit in the greenhouse to stop the cold. Then he said it was some damn he said some damn keep the stuff getting diseased on it, fungus and shit. Like what? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Well, so I had a
I don't know what. Yeah, but
what do you think,
it's called
Spike?
Nyahururu where they. I'm saying there's a place called Nyahururu where they actually do a whole lot of potato farming there. So I'm not sure what side your greenhouse farm was, but anyhow.
Whatever it was, it didn't work.
So
Spike.
did you get us? Yeah. uh, but at least there was some lessons learned.
Yeah, but I don't know yet because we gonna. I'm gonna tell you, we're gonna dig all this other because it's already this is old. It all bloomed and everything. I'm telling we're going to dig all this shit up. So
Yeah.
I had a Kenyan
Mm,
company come out and assess what are
mm,
the best crops to grow in these greenhouses,
yeah.
and they gave us I had a paper consultation. So
Mm,
they came out and said, well, these are your three options: strawberries. Her strawberries are expensive to
yeah.
grow though. She said strawberries, bell
Yeah.
peppers, or what's the um what's the little tomatoes called, Spikes? The little fancy tomatoes. What are they
Is it?
called? Little fancy tomatoes.
Um,
What are they called? Let me see. She gave me what is little fancy?
I'm not sure.
See, what little fancy tomatoes called? The lemon tomatoes or some kind of little fancy tomatoes. She said, I forgot the name of the damn thing. Like some kind of special tomatoes. Like she said, um, and what's the name of them damn tomatoes? I forgot. Whatever. The little ones. They're like some specialty kind of tomatoes. I don't know. So they're like a
So what
specialty
was the
kind.
other third option?
Third
What was the
option
other
is
third option?
third option is the tomatoes. Tomatoes, strawberries, and bell
Yeah.
pepper.
Yeah.
But the tomatoes was some kind
Oh,
of
okay.
special was some kind of special tomatoes. I forgot the name of them. They're like the little small ones. Damn, why can't I get Why do I keep going back? Why do I keep going away from where I wanted to go?
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours. Damn.
And she's still also doing her farming right here in Kenya.
Huh? Did it get spiked?
I'm saying that's Khalees.
Yeah, that's Khalees. She got
there was a video, I think you.
Yeah, she got some farmland and
yeah, she's doing some farming.
Yeah, and Cameron's part of the state. He don't like it. He don't like she got some land. He said that no good bitch. She got land. I don't got no damn land. I don't know, Cameron. You got to take her with the Kenyan government. I don't know how she got land and you know.
There will always there will always be the naysayers. If it doesn't matter whether you're doing right, whether you're doing wrong, whether you're farming, whether you're doing tourism, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, they want to. He said, "Why she got land? I don't know. I'm not Khalees. I got nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with Khalees and her land. So
you have to go to Ghana.
Yeah. What about Ghana? What about Ghana Spikes?
I'm saying maybe they didn't want her to go to Kenya. Maybe they would rather have had her go to Ghana. The people who are the naysayers.
Well, the Ghanaians probably don't want her ass there too.
That's a problem.
Remember the Ghanaians got mad about them.
She learned some Swahili so far. I'm hoping she has learned some Swahili so far.
She probably learned because since she got to have everybody do that work, she probably learned Tapadali.
Yeah, Tapadali is okay. Asante.
Tapadali, please get your ass back to work.
Asante, Tapadali, Ujambo. She probably has learned a bit of that.
Tapadali, get your ass back to work, please.
And Asante.
Asante, of course, Asante. And Keribu.
Karibu, of course, is not difficult. What happened to the brother Haki? I'm Swahili on the network. I don't know if
I ain't seen him in years. I ain't seen Haki Sankofa. We ain't seen that dude in about 2 years. I ain't seen Haki in years. Damn, I forgot about Haki. I was like, who? Haki? Who the fuck is Haki? Damn, Haki said, I ain't seen Haki. Haki ain't been there since you stopped doing the live stream. I ain't seen Haki, what, 3 years? It's been a long time. Damn, I forgot about his ass. God damn. Maybe because we lost so many channels, maybe he couldn't keep up with the changes. We kept changing channels and shit, get taken down, spikes out. I haven't seen Hacky take over Hank. I ain't seen Hank since probably me and you were doing the damn Africa Today show 3 years ago. Damn, I forgot about Hank.
Yeah.
Hope you all right.
Also the shadow ban, of course, where people wouldn't know what platform, what YouTube, what channel is streaming. That's also another problem.
Exactly. She was shadow banned now, and nobody showed up yet. We live, so exactly. Shadow ban is crazy. But damn, I forgot about Hank. I forgot about a lot of people we used to have. Like they all gone. We used to have so many other people. I forgot about them motherfuckers.
Some of them will still pop up. Some of them will still pop up when there's a live that they happen to chance.
I haven't seen a lot of pop-up spikes at all. Only ones pop back up some years ago, maybe early this year, late last year was what's the brother's name from South Africa, Spikes? What's the brother's name from South Africa?
His name was Shepo Simono.
Shepo popped up. He had a different name with the slick hands. I said, because he was saying a lot of South African shit. So I just said, I wonder if this dude is Temple. Is this it? I finally said, Temple, is this you? And he started laughing. He said, yeah, this is me. I said, damn, why you change your name on us, your slick ass? So we haven't seen. So Temple came back like for a couple of weeks. Then we haven't heard. I think that was like late last year. but he had been gone for like 2 years since when you left. He'd been gone. I know 2 years. I said, damn, what happened to Temple? That's when he came up and said, Keith, this is me. I said, man, you've been gone for like 2 years. You just this new name you just started. Said, yeah, I was gone for a long time. I said, yeah, you've gone since Spike's ass. So, yeah, yeah.
That's a long time. That's a long time. I actually checked up. Shepo means hope in South.
That's what it means. Hope.
Actually came. Yeah, it means hope. Shepo.
Okay.
Shepo means hope in. I think it's in the Zulu language.
Okay. Well, hope his ass stop disappearing.
He's a brother. What? This other Zimbabwean brother, Kamit Ethics. Is he still up with his teachings? I haven't seen the videos by Kamit. What's in Kamit Ethics?
Who?
The Zimbabwean brother, Kamit Ethics. There was a brother from Zimbabwe and South Africa. Kamit Ethics. Kemet Ethics.
Damn,
yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I ain't seen him since. I ain't seen him. God, I forgot about him. Damn. I think he's on Facebook a lot, though. I forgot about that guy. I think he's been gone since you've been gone. Wow. Till you just mentioned it, I forgot. Damn. Yeah, he was like from Zimbabwe, right?
Yeah, Zimbabwe and South Africa. I think he was maybe living along the border or something like that.
Damn.
Zimbabwe and South Africa. Yeah.
I seen that name on the Facebook. I was like, who the fuck is this? He sent me a message. I said, Kimmy Ethics, who the fuck is this? Yeah, but I haven't seen none of these people. So and also about Mumpy, you remember Mumpy Danford?
Sorry, come again?
Do you remember Mumpy Danford? Remember he said Mumpy Danford? You remember him?
Remember
Danford.
Who?
Remember Mumpy Danford? I don't know. I probably pronounced his name.
Yes. I remember.
Remember he was in Ethiopia and he went back to Gambia, and since his accent changed.
I don't know.
Remember he moved back to Gambia. He moved back to Gambia before he left. He moved back to Gambia, and the people in Gambia told him to go to Mali. Get out of here. You ain't from here.
And he was also, I think he was to go to Tanzania to study there. He was going to Tanzania, so therefore he said I think he wanted to go and pursue I don't know what degree in Tanzania, then get back to the Gambia.
But he went back to Gambia. He never made it to Tanzania, man. He went back to Gambia. I haven't heard from him since then because he let us know he's in the Gambia. Because remember, when he's in the Gambia, his accent had changed, right? Yeah. And the people in Gambia say, hey, get out of here. Go back to your tribe. Go back to Mali. He's not from here. They go to Mali.
That's a problem with the tribalism and a negative ethnicity.
I know. It's the tribal. So he told him because he said, I'm from here. I'm the tribe. He said, nah, you go back to Mali. What's going on? What's going on, K-Don?
KW Don. Peace to you, KW Don. Well, it has been a minute, a long minute, but we're back with the Swahili class. And I do hope that this particular time you'll stick with us as we study Swahili, and at the end of it,
hopefully, time I won't go broke. I won't go broke fucking Wallace. Wallace fucked my money up. But greenhouses.
I remember Kid had a lot of praise for the greenhouses, but now
I did, and I got that's right. I'm gonna give people chances, Spikes. Get out of here.
Yeah, right. And that's what it is.
Then we bought a bunch of chickens. Somehow the chickens all disappeared too with Wallace. Wallace having all these chickens. Chickens are gone. Where, Wallace? Where the chickens gone at? We supposed to sell them, get eggs, and put them in the market with the chickens.
Yeah, and sell the eggs and the chicken as well.
Damn chickens that goddamn it. He said they all died from disease. All them chickens died of disease.
All at the same time.
Yeah. That's the same. What a miracle, Spikes. Somebody said Wallace and his family ate all them damn chickens.
That's unfortunate.
Came out for Christmas.
That's unfortunate. KW Don, how is your weekend coming up? Let us know how your weekend is coming up and how things are looking for you. How was your week? We would love to know. And we're just catching up a little bit. Then we'll just get started with the class. So for those who are joining us for the very first time, maybe perhaps you're wondering what's going on with the Swahili class. we just get to connect and just get to learn Swahili. Swahili is actually the most popular East African language and actually spoken by over 150 million people on the continent, and it's also spoken off the continent.
Most popular language in Africa, not just in East Africa. But Swahili is the biggest language in Africa, period. And that's why even Torre has said he's bringing Swahili to Burkina Faso. Go ahead, Spike.
Yeah, even for people who are in Southern Africa, places such as Zambia. For example, we did have a brother known as Paul Raj, who is an artist, and some of his music is actually from Zambia. But some of his music is actually done in Swahili. So you'll find also Swahili speakers even in Zambia as well. Tanzania, Zambia, the Congo, DRC Congo, Rwanda, Uganda, Kenya. And those are some of the places that you find the language is spoken widely. For those who are wondering why it is important to really just learn Swahili, it is very, very important because it is a language of business. In case you're trying to reconnect with the motherland, and perhaps maybe you want to transact and do some business, it is very, very important that you learn and you're able to communicate. No, not just getting special deals, like, you'd go to a place like Tanzania for the first time, not knowing anything, not knowing the language.
Like Spikes and them, they like them knew the language, but Spikes and them had an accent.
If you speak in any other language in Tanzania or even in East Africa, then they would know. They know the accent. They would catch on the accent, and they know you're giving a special deal to these particular individuals. It means that you're going to pay more. You're going to pay extra for the same product or service that someone else would pay, rather the standard fee. But anyhow, yes, we do have some Swahili class notes. Let me just share these on the screen with us. So that you can see what we are talking about. These are the notes on here. In case you'd like a copy of the notes, you can let me know. You can reach out. You can just write an email to blackcoatfireafrica@gmail.com, and I would be able to just send you a copy of the same as well. So for those who wonder where the language originated from, this is actually a Bantu language, which has a bit of some borrowed words.
With the Arabic with it.
Realize that it is not a mixture. It is actually a pure language, not a mixture, as you'd have some individuals say, because some people tell you, Swahili is a bastard language, which actually came as a mixing of the Bantu and the Arabs at the East African coast. But no, you'll find that Swahili is actually an African language. But of course, because of that interaction between the Arabs and the Bantus at the East African coast, there was some borrowing of words. That is why you'll find, for example, what we do call the special class of consonants. The special class of consonants, these are consonants that bring together two consonants. For example, those are special class of consonants that you'll be able to get to learn as we get introduced to this particular language. So you'll have the language Saturdays and Sundays, the language class Saturdays and Sundays for 2 hours. And we shall be able to cover as much as we are able to during this particular session. And this is a language for anyone. It can be a language, it can be a class for a beginner. You can be even at an intermediate level, or you can just be even someone who is well-versed in Swahili, but you still want to join us and just to do a bit of a polishing your Swahili. So you are much welcome at whatever level you might be at in your learning of this beautiful language. Swahili is very, very simple, not difficult, because Swahili is made up of words with alternating vowel sounds, and therefore it has some sweet gist. I would call it a gist to it. For example, you realize that these alternating vowel sounds. For example, you say the word book in Swahili is translated to kitabu, and you realize it has three syllables: the ki, ta, bu, and these three syllables, they have alternating vowel sounds: the e, and O, the key taboo. But before we get into that, let me just touch on the objectives of having us learn this particular course. Let me share with us some of these objectives. The objective is to help you as a learner understand, learn, and appreciate the Swahili language because it is easier for you to learn something that you already have. It is difficult on the other side to learn something that you do not even have an appreciation. When you're having these particular sessions, it helps you understand better and have an appreciation for the Swahili language. There is a day that has been marked as the International Swahili Language Day. I think that is in May. Let me just confirm what that day is, because I can't really remember on the calendar. International Swahili Day, International Swahili Day, Swahili Day. Let me see what day this is marked on the calendar. Yes, this happens to be the 7th of July. It's a day that has been set apart to recognize the global importance of Kiswahili. And this was declared back in 2021 to promote the language and the use of the language for global communication, for cultural diversity, and also for African identity, serving as a tool for unity and integration across East, Central, and Southern Africa, because these are the regions where the language is mostly or commonly used. But then again, we do not necessarily need to have a Swahili Day to recognize the essence of or the importance of this particular language, but it is just important to just have a language that can connect you back to your roots. Like I did say, it's a Bantu language. It's spoken widely in the eastern part of the continent, but nonetheless, it is also getting appreciation and embraced even in places such as the Southern Africa, where there has been a memorandum of in South Africa, so that we can have Swahili tutors also go and teach Swahili in South Africa as well. Another is to engage you as a learner in exploring different ways in which the Swahili language is developing, because I realize that a language is not just static. A language is dynamic. Every now, there are new words coming up in the language, and things like that. So therefore, through this particular platform, you are able to explore different ways in which the language is developing. And thirdly, the aid or another objective is to help using Swahili. And therefore, we go past the greetings, because the greetings are good, and also the icebreakers are good. But you need to be able to communicate effectively using this particular language. And the other objective is to teach spoken Swahili language to beginners already interacted with the language before. Like I did say, you might be a beginner, you might be at an intermediate level, you might be at already proficient level, but you just decide to join us in class, and it's actually a good thing. So on the content breakdown, over this particular class, we shall be learning the introduction of Swahili and doing key and popular Swahili words. We shall be doing the greetings and common courtesy words and phrases in Swahili. We shall be going into learning Swahili grammar, which is the nouns, the verbs, the adjectives, the pronouns, and all that. We shall be getting into the spelling and pronunciation of our Swahili words. We shall also be getting into the diction and intonation of our Swahili words and phrases. And we shall also get into the change of tenses in Swahili. This is also part of the grammar. So that comes to the present tense, the present continuous, the past tense, the present, the future tense, and all that. Also, we shall get into the singular and the plural objects or the terms of words in their singular and also in their plural tenses. And from that, we shall also go into number 8, learning the numbers and also enumeration in Swahili. For example, if you're talking about transaction in currency and you're talking about pesa, pesa is money in Swahili. For example, if we're talking about my money, we do say pesa yangu or pesa zangu. And if you're talking about, for example, shillings, the currency for East Africa is shillings, like you would have Tanzanian shillings or the Ugandan shillings, or you'd have the Kenyan shillings. And maybe perhaps you want to talk about a particular figure. You would say, for example, 100 shillings, you do say shilingi mia moja, because mia represents 100 and moja just represents one or uno. That is one. Therefore, you would say moja, shilingi moja. Shilingi moja is 1 shilling. But if we say shilingi mia moja, that would be 100 shillings. We shall also get into learning the construction of a simple Swahili sentences. And then from there, we shall go on to progress into learning simple Swahili dialogues and putting them in various social contexts. And from that, we shall also get into basic Swahili translations, terms and phrases from a different context. From that, we shall go into number 14, learning traditional African Swahili sayings. We do call them methali. Methali are proverbs in Swahili. And there are so many African sayings, that come from different communities, but most of those African sayings, they have already been translated into Swahili. For example, mtaka tamvunguni shalti ainame, or you might say haraka haraka haina baraka, which is hari hari has no blessings. So we shall be learning a bit of African sayings in Swahili. And number 15, we shall go into learning new generational developments in Swahili, because Swahili has also been fused with in the urban cities in Kenya. We have what you call Sheng, and Sheng is just basically a combination of or a merger of Swahili and English, and it's called Sheng. Apart from that, we also do have number 16, the final thing that we shall do. We shall have a self-assessment of the progress that we shall have made in terms of our Swahili learning. We shall do a self-assessment of our Swahili for beginners, and therefore that would be what we shall be looking forward to through this particular segment. And through the instructions, you can still be able to ask, to engage. You are free to ask any question. You can pop up and ask a question at any particular time. Swahili is also known as Kiswahili within the language itself. So if someone says Kiswahili or they say Swahili, is just understood to be the same thing, but it's called Kiswahili within the language itself. And it is a language which is spoken indicated right here on the map: Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi, the DRC Congo, the Democratic Republic of Congo, as well as other countries such as Zambia. Zambia is also a country that you'll find in some parts where they also do get. And it is widely spoken throughout Eastern Africa and along the coast of the Indian Ocean. So I wouldn't be surprised if there are Swahili speakers in Mozambique. Personally, I have not interacted with people from Mozambique. Therefore, I'm not quite sure whether they do speak the language in Mozambique, but I would assume that because they share that coastline, between Kenya, Tanzania, you go all the way down to Mozambique, I would assume that they are also Swahili speakers in Mozambique as well. If you're joining us for the first time, I want to thank you so much. My name is Spikes, and we have first time that we are we're coming together for class. We have been doing it for a minute, and some of those other previous class, I will share that link for some of those particular classes, and I'll also do the same, and I'll share the same on and also on the network website. So to start us off, let's use this particular note. And I did say if you would like to get a copy of this particular note, just shoot me an email, blackhotfireafrica@gmail.com, and I would just be able to send the email. The document, a Google document link. So for today, we shall be getting into the introduction to Swahili, and that is our focus for today. And we shall get into page number. Before we get into that, let me just do a bit of an introduction of the language once again. This is an East African language. They are all communication styles and values in Swahili. We do have indirect communication, which is considered to be much more polite than just being direct and specific, especially when you're talking to superiors or even elders. You may find that, for example, instead of asking for help directly and then explaining specifically their reasons, they may tell you about, they may get into a bit of a chit chat, a 5-minute story about a problem they're having, and only then begin to hint at the problem and the assistance that you can give as they continue to converse, because these are the people of East Africa, the Bantu people, and there is a certain communication style and a certain communication value that is attributed to this particular language, like I just did explain. And you also realize that even in the Swahili language, humor plays a big role in communicating. You do find that most Tanzanians, and also most East Africans, they enjoy a good joke, and therefore, what's your point? I do find also humor playing a very, very big role as part of the communication style in Swahili language. The other thing you ought to realize is that when two people of the same sex are talking, normally in the Swahili culture, touching is still acceptable. You might be patting someone on the shoulder and you give them a word of advice, or you're advising them on this and that. It is quite common. But when it's people of opposite sex in the Swahili culture, you realize that there is very literal or no touching. Only appropriate touch is a handshake in this regard. And when talking to an elder, many people also tend to look down out of respect, and also happen to realize that when there is the issue of greetings in the Swahili culture, it is normally the elderly that initiate the greetings. For example, if there is an elderly woman and it is the elderly woman who will initiate the greeting, and they will say shikamo mwanangu, and then the child or the younger person, they would actually say marahaba, or it would be jambo or hujambo, and then the younger person would respond and say sijambo. Ask hujambo or habari yako, and then the child or the younger person would actually say nzuri sana mama, in case it is an elderly woman who is referred to as mama, or just respectfully mama. Therefore, you would say sijambo. Or if someone says habari yako, you'd respond and say nzuri sana mama. That is the way they would respond. So you realize that even age, there is a context in which greetings also do happen. You realize that even age matters, and mostly it's the elderly people that say hi to the younger or initiate the greetings to the younger. That is just something of a note. And then you realize that when you talk about Swahili, someone might ask, what are the differences between Swahili and English? What are the differences in English? Because I do understand for many people, you want to draw the parallels and then see how you can just use that as an advantage in terms of understanding the new language. So Swahili has 5 vowel sounds, in contrast to the 22 of English. So the 5 vowel sounds in Swahili, they are the basic and the most important things to learn or to remember. And we do have 5 vowels, which is the A, the E, E. You have the 5 vowels in Swahili, and in English you have more. In English you do have the 22. And you also realize English has 24 consonants, and Swahili has 28. Swahili has 28. And in Swahili, you also have what we call the special class of consonants. The special class of consonants, we shall be getting to learn. Swahili speech alternates vowels with consonants and contain basically no consonant clusters. So you not find consonants are just put together in a word. What you do find in Swahili is that vowels with consonants. Vowels with consonants. For example, in the word that I gave a little bit earlier on, I did say in the word, for example, kitabu, you realize the speech alternates. Let me just give that example and just write it down. So the vowels, I did say they are just very, very simple. A, E, O, U. A, E, O, U. Those are the 5 vowels. Those are the 5 vowels in Swahili. And these are just the English letters, the English letter A, the English letter E, the English letter I, and the English letter O. Those constitute these constitutes the Swahili the Swahili vowels. And then you realize that in Swahili, words do constitute what we do they alternate vowels with consonants. They alternate vowels in consonants. They do not have a cluster of consonants. For example, kitabu, 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 changu, kitabu changu means my book, my book. When you talk about my book, you realize that kitabu has the key ta, bu. So the kitabu has the syllable key. The syllable key has a consonant and the vowel, the consonant and the vowel. So that is key, ta, the ta also has a consonant and vowel, which is alternated. And then the bu also has a consonant and vowel, which is alternated. So you do say ki, ta, bu, ki, ta, bu. And when you're pointing to self, you would say kitabu changu, my book, you would say kitabu changu. For example, if you're talking about a spoon, you would say kijiko, kijiko changu, that is my spoon, kijiko changu, that would be my spoon. So you realize that even in that particular word kijiko, you also do have the vowel, the consonant and the vowel, the consonant and the vowel, the consonant and the vowel. That is how they are alternated in that particular regard. But if you look at also some other differences, because you have to look at these other differences, if you look at these other differences, you realize that the two languages, they have very different systems for word stress or word stress systems, because the intonation is different, and therefore what you would stress in a particular word in Swahili is also different in what you'd stress in a particular word in English. And that is also another point to note, that the two languages have a very different systems of word stress. You also realize the intonation patterns are also a little bit different. The intonation patterns, like I did say, the words, for example, if you're asking a question, what will you eat? What will you eat? What will you eat? There is a way you signal a question, and you signal a question by using the JE, which is a syllable J. You would say J utakula. The J, you realize that it's stressed. The J, it's a long, it's stretched. It's J. Utakula nini. When you say nini, there's a way you say nini. So therefore you realize that the intonation patterns are a little bit different. In Swahili, the typical intonation pattern is a low fall, which is carried over into English, even where English uses a rise. Therefore, it's not always clear if the speaker is asking a I realize that it's the typical intonation pattern is a low fall. Utakula nini? You would ask that, like, what will you have for lunch? Utakula nini? So from that, we get into a little bit of understanding that the language incorporates both the Bantu dialects and also some borrowed words from the Arabic. But for the larger part, Swahili is basically just a Bantu language that has borrowed some words from the Arabic as well. And also it's an older language of these two languages, because someone may say, oh, it's an Arabic language, it's a Bantu Arabic language. Swahili is older. It's actually older compared to these other languages that you might come across. Swahili is actually older. And you realize that, for example, the Arabic language, I think it's just about 1,500 years, if I'm not mistaken. But Swahili is certainly a little bit much older. And the coastal Swahili,
a lot older than that language. So
yeah.
And also understand the African created not the the Arabian people you see now.
Yeah.
African created the Arab language too. That's from the Demonic script coming out of Kemet. So the African created the Arabic language too, because those white individuals now classified as Arabs were illiterate. Okay? It makes no difference. Both languages are African.
Not the only problem with the preservation of this language is it's mostly just oral. That's a problem. It has been mostly oral. Even the language has been preserved through things like proverbs or the methali, but there has not been much effort in terms of storing it as written in written form. In written form, that is the only challenge that has been with the preservation of this language. You might find a whole writings and written form, written material, and even things like manuscripts. But when it comes to the Bantu, this Swahili language, it has not, the way it was stored or the way it was passed on is mostly just orally. Even African wisdom, you do find that most of the African wisdom has been stored in proverbs and things like that. It has been stored verbally, especially for languages such as Swahili and other smaller another languages on the continent. But yes, the coastal Swahili remains the most pure. The island of Zanzibar is considered to be the home of the language, and further away from the coast that you travel, the less sophisticated the language generally becomes, and grammar is slightly more flexible. In Nairobi, you do find that both Swahili and English to have what we call Sheng, but you will still find a whole lot of pure Swahili being spoken along the East African coastal towns, such as Mombasa, such as Zanzibar, such as Dar es Salaam, such as Lamu. That is why you do find a whole lot of preservation of Swahili culture in places such as Lamu and even places such as Kilifi. You will find those places actually them having stored or maintained or preserved their culture very, very well. So yes, we get into a bit of the introduction. I'd say we do have the vowels. The vowels are 5 vowels: the A, E, I, O. All Swahili, the Swahili language has all the English alphabet letters except for X and Q. That is also something that we always do note as we are learning Swahili. That there is no any particular word in Swahili that has an X. There is no any word in Swahili that has a Q, and therefore it is of note that if you do find any word that has a Q anywhere or that has an X anywhere, then that automatically tells you that that is not a Swahili word. But all these other letters of the English alphabet, they are found in Swahili, except for X and Q. And for the 5 letters of the English alphabet, this is letter A, letter E, letter I, letter O, and letter U. Those constitutes the Swahili vowels, the A, O. For example, if you're talking about something like the eye, your body part, the eye, you might say jicho langu, syllables, the G and the cho, and therefore you can still break it down and see it has those 2 vowels. Let me just write it down here so that you can see that application of the vowels. The G, cho, jicho, which means I, so that will be the G and the cho. So you find that word has 2 syllables and it has the vowels. It has 2 vowels, the E and the O, jicho. In the other one I gave a little bit earlier on, kitabu, it has 3 syllables. Kitabu has 3 syllables, and therefore it has also 3 vowels. It has 3 vowels. The E in ki, the A in ta, and the O in kitabu. That is, it has 3 vowels, and there is the alternation of the consonant and the vowel. The consonant and the vowel. The ki, the K, which is a consonant, the E, the I, it is pronounced as ki, and then you do have ta. If you're talking about your book, you would actually say kitabu changu, That is how you would actually refer to it as kitabu changu. But let's go back and I refer to these able to continue our learning. So for the consonants, the vowels, this is how they sound in typical words or in simple words. For example, in barua, if you're talking about write, you can write a letter. You will say andika. Andika means to write. Andika means to write, as I can share it on my screen here. I hope that you're able to see. Yes, I hope that you're able to see these. So this is the first example of the vowels. We do have andika. If I do say andika kitabu, that's a book. If I do say andika barua, B-A-R-U-A, barua, that's a letter, andika barua. And you can also talk about writing, writing different things. Andika hadithi, that would be writing a story. Andika hadithi, that would be writing a story. But that is how the vowel a has been used in a word like andika, andika, andika. So if you go to the second vowel, the a, which is the English letter E, you do find it as in the word endelea, endelea, endelea. That is the vowel a, endelea. And I would presume in English that would be in a word, for example, evolve, evolve. But the letter E, but in Swahili, it's pronounced or it sounds as endelea, endelea, which means endelea means to continue. So if someone says endelea kuandika, endelea kuandika, endelea kuandika, it means continue writing, continue writing. If someone says endelea kulala, it means continue sleeping. If someone says endelea kula, K-U-L-A, kula, which means eat, so therefore that would mean continue eating. Endelea whatever follows after endelea, it means you continue with that action. Because endelea means continue. It's a doing thing. It's a continuous thing. E, that is the English letter I. The English letter I. So, for example, in the word means to rise up. Someone would say inuka tafadhali. It means rise up, please. Rise up, please. Is the example of the vowel E. The vowel E. Used in a Swahili word, inuka. For if you're talking about, for example, entertain, and maybe perhaps you are an actor, and you're actually on stage to entertain and to act or to dramatize, we do call that igiza, I-G-I-Z-A, igiza, I-G-I-Z-A. So that would mean dramatize, or to. Apart from that, you do have the vowel O, which is the fourth, the vowel O. This is the English letter. And if you do use the word ondoka, it means leave, or to exit. If you leave, ondoka sasa, it simply means I'm leaving now, I am leaving now. And if you can use it also in another different word, for example, ogopa. Ogopa simply means to fear, ogopa. If someone says, ninaogopa mvua, or ninaogopa moto, I do fear fire, it simply means just to fear, ogopa, O-G-O-P-A, O-G-O-P-A. That is how you would use the vowel O in that particular word. If you're talking about the last vowel, O, the fifth vowel, O, this is the English letter U. It's the English letter U, and therefore you would say ugua. If you're ailing from something, you would say ugua. It means, for example, you are ailing from something. You are ailing from a cold and other things like that. That is simply how you would use those 5 vowels. So those are the basic or the most important thing. That is actually the most important thing that you need to realize. The 5 vowels, that is the most important, and how they sound or how they are pronounced. They are you can even use your five fingers. You can actually use your 5 fingers and have the thumb for the R, the vowel R, E, E, O, O. So this is the final one. This is the O. You can just use your five fingers to just illustrate and remember. And these vowels are R, E, E, O. Those are the 5 vowels. The R, E, O, O. And it's not even difficult to remember. It's not even difficult to remember. It's actually very, very simple. It's very, very simple to remember. But you also need to remember that you shall be getting to learn. We do have the consonants. But these consonants, the consonants, we do have the normal consonants and also a special class of consonants. And our focus shall be on both. The consonants constitute all the English, the Swahili consonants constitute all the letters of the English alphabet, apart from those 5 that we named as vowels. And also you will not have X and Q. You will not also have X and Q. So you'll have, let me just put it down here. Let me just put it as of note. So the vowels, these are just the vowels, very simple. M, E, O, O, those are the 5 vowels. These are Swahili vowels. And then you do have the consonants. Consonants are, the consonants are all the letters of the English alphabet. The English alphabet apart and Q and the above named vowels. So that is what you need to take note. The consonants in Swahili, the letters of the English alphabet apart from X and Q and the above named vowels. So you will omit X and Q. You will also omit the R, E, E, O, and O. So the others that remain, those are the consonants. And that is what you need to realize. Swahili is not a difficult language, even when it comes to like learning the language and things like that. Is not difficult. It's very, very easy. I think it just needs a bit of just a little bit of a commitment. Swahili have simple pronunciations with 2 or 3 vowels, and they are often very easy to remember. It is therefore wise for beginners to practically start with these. For example, more Swahili names used in the common family unit. Yes, so the words used in the common family unit, these refers to, for example, in Swahili, we do refer to a mother or a mom as mama, so it's not difficult. You just remember, dear mama, you will be like mpendo wa mama. But if you're talking about a father or a dad, that will be baba, B-A-B-A. If you're talking about a child in the family unit, you do say mtoto. If you're talking about a brother in the family unit, you do say kaka. If you're talking about a sister in the family unit, you do say dada, D-A-D-A. So for example, if I'm talking about my sister, I would actually say dada yangu. If I'm talking about my father, I would actually say baba yangu. If I'm talking about my mother, the phrase would be mama yangu. And if we're talking about an uncle, we refer to them as mjomba. For an auntie, we do call them shangazi. For a cousin, we do call them binamu. For grandmother, we do call them nyanya. And nyanya is also a term I believe is used for tomatoes as well. If you're talking about a grandfather, you do refer to them as babu, B-A-B-U. Just a small deviation from baba. So babu, that is what it is. And then if you're talking about a grandchild, you do say mzuku. And if you're talking about a nephew, you do say mpo. And also is not really nephew or niece, because the term for a nephew is mpo, and also the term for a niece also happens to be mpo. So if you're talking about a niece or you're talking about a nephew, the term doesn't change. It just remains to be mpo. It just remains to be mpo, and it's something of note right there. And also something else about Swahili that you need to realize is that it would be very difficult for you to know if someone is talking about a woman or if they're talking about a man, as opposed to English. In English, if you say he came to the office, then you would know that they are referring about. But when you translate that into Swahili, it becomes alikuja. So it's not specific whether it was a man or whether it was a lady that came to an office, but that is just how Swahili works. Unless now you would have to say, specific and say, dada alikuja ofisini, or mwanamke alikuja ofisini, or mwanamume alikuja ofisini, but you wouldn't know whether they're talking about a man or a woman. Even if you to have, be walking along and you find people having some chit chat, and they say, yule ana maringo sana, you would really not know whether it is a man or a lady that they're talking about. But if it's in English, they would have to say, he is very boastful, or she is very boastful. And then you would know that they're talking about a lady or a man. But anyhow, that's just the way Swahili. But if you're talking about an in-law, you say mkwe. If you're talking about your in-law in Swahili, you really just say mkwe. Mkwe is for your in-law. So if you're talking about a father-in-law, you would say baba mkwe. If you're talking about a mother-in-law, you would say mama mkwe. You would talk about mama mkwe. But if you're talking about a friend, you really just say rafiki. That has 3 syllables. That refers to a friend. But if you're talking about an enemy, you can simply just say adui. Adui, that is understood to be an enemy. In the context of what, perhaps even conversation, you would ask habari yako mama, habari yako mama. That would be how are you mom? How are you mom? So you find that that particular word has been used in a sentence, and it's a question which is a greeting. Habari yako mama, that is interpreted to how are you mom. If you're talking about a statement, you might say baba alienda mjini. Baba alienda mjini. That would be father went to the city. Father went to the city. If we're talking about a child, we do call them mtoto. If we say mtoto ako nyumbani or yupo nyumbani, that will be the child is at home. The child is at home. The child is at home, and it's not even difficult. It's not really even difficult. It's very, very easy. If you're talking about a friend, you might put across a statement and say, yule ni rafiki yangu. That will be translated to mean that is my friend. That is my friend. That is my friend. So, for example, if you ask in habari yako dada, that will be hello, how are you, sister? Hello, how are you, sister? But sister simply just translates into dada, and therefore it wouldn't be difficult. It wouldn't be difficult for you to just say hello to someone or just have an icebreaker. It wouldn't be difficult for you to do that. It is actually very, very simple. Even asking habari yako ndugu, or hujambo ndugu, that is simply how you do say hello brother. Hello brother. That would be hujambo ndugu, or habari yako ndugu, which is how are you brother. How are you brother? Habari yako ndugu. That is simply how you get to ask that. That is simply how you get to ask that. Anyhow, if you would have a question, you would be free. Kindly feel free to interject and ask a question. Kindly feel free to interject and ask a question, so that I would be able to address that if anyone would have a question in that regard. We started a little bit late, but we do hope that the next time we do have a class, we shall start early, and we shall also notify everyone in good time, so that you are able to catch that as well. it would be bad in case you just didn't know that we did have a class. And Swahili is easy when you have a live as opposed to a recorded lesson. Both are good, but I think you prefer having a live class because you can be able to ask questions. You will be able to ask or interject at any point and maybe perhaps seek clarification. But then again, if it's recorded, then you are not able to do that. If it's a recorded session, then you will not be able to do that. But once you would like to ask a question as we continue, you are free to interject at any particular point. In Swahili, we call the question swali. If you did have a question, you would simply just say niko na swali. Niko means I have. Niko na swali. You would actually say I have a question. Niko na swali. That is simply how you would put it. And then I would tell you, karibu sana, uliza swali. If I did say uliza swali, that is simply a phrase. Ask your question, and we'll be more than glad to respond to you. Maybe perhaps over the weekends, you can still catch a replay of the same on this particular channel. But you can also find Black Hot Fire on Rumble, or you can also find Black Hot Fire on BitChute. The same live class sessions are also available for you to be able to access them on those particular platforms. For those who have not also found the Black Hot Fire Network website update, please make sure you do check into that as well. There's a whole lot of updates in terms of news and stories, in terms of even culture updates. Things that you are able to see and also add value to whatever you might be looking for in terms of news and updates. You can simply head over to blackhotfirenetwork.com. And once you are on there, you can click on the social and create a profile, because it's also some sort of it's actually a social media network as well. If you are on there and you want to connect to the rest of the family, you can click on the Black Hot Fire Network, click on social, and it will help you sign up. Let me just share my screen here so that you can see that as with like-minded family. You can be able to do that right here. Clicked on that social icon, then you'll be able to really simply just sign up and just be part of the network on there, and be able to like-minded individuals, because we always do say that iron sharpens iron. And once you do have a family that have same outlook and also objectives, then that would actually be a wonderful thing. Creating a collective African consciousness, and also playing a part in terms of the awakening of our people globally, and just uniting people from different walks of life, whether be it you are from East Africa, like myself here, or whether be it that you are living in Europe, or even in the US, or even in South America. All these particular places are just a platform that are just to connect everyone, and just to a collective African action towards unity, which is the goal for these particular platform. If we started this particular session rather late, but just check and subscribe. Turn on notifications for your YouTube, so that you can catch the class, so that you can also catch the class, tomorrow. And like I did say, in case you want a hold of the notes, you want to get a hold of the notes, you can write to Black Hot Fire Africa, Black Hot Fire Africa at gmail.com, Black Hot Fire Africa at gmail.com. And you can just shoot an email. Just say, I'll email the notes to you as well. So Swahili, like I did say, is not difficult. And in case you have never even had an opportunity to tour places such as East Africa, go to Tanzania, I would urge you to make a point, to plan and make a point. Maybe perhaps in December, or maybe perhaps in April, or even in August. Personally, I've been to, and when you are able to communicate in Swahili, it's actually a plus for you because you're able to connect very, very easily with the people on the ground as well. Even if you're to go to Kigali, Rwanda, and you're able to speak in Swahili, then you are able to move easily in terms of maybe perhaps buying things, in terms of maybe perhaps visiting places. You are able to just communicate and move about easily because you have that particular knowledge of Swahili. These days, there are many tools that someone can use to learn Swahili. I believe there's a Duolingo app that you would be able to just translate words very, very easily from English to Swahili. But then again, previous videos and even the current videos that we are doing right now, you can refer to those particular ones, and you would be able to just learn the language, even if it's just the basic. You know how you're able to say hello to a group of people, say hello to an individual, ask for a request or make a request, buy some food, buy some, shop for some items, board a bus or board the public transport or even board an Uber or private means, taxi, things like that. It's very, very important that it becomes an appreciation for the language, and then it becomes an interest to just join us and learn this beautiful language. So there are those 5 vowels. Do not forget the e, I, O, U. Then, like I did say, Swahili words or Swahili sentences, or Swahili just comprises of alternating consonants and vowels. And then you do have vowels, syllables with alternating vowel sounds. Like I did give an example of kitabu. I did give an example of pesa. If someone is asking pesa ngapi, pesa is really just money, pesa, and money makes the world go round. So in case you go to your point and someone is trying to sell you something, they're trying to sell you a shoe, they're trying to sell you a hat, they're trying to sell you a watch, they're trying to sell you whatsoever item that they're selling you, and you really just wanted to inquire how much is the item that they are selling you, you will simply just say pesa ngapi, ni pesa ngapi, ni pesa ngapi. Pesa ngapi is just a simple phrase. Pesa, P-E-S-A is for money, So if someone is asking how much the money, how much the item is, they will simply just say pesa ngapi, pesa ngapi. This is a phrase asking how much money, how much money, how much translates to ni pesa ngapi, pesa ngapi. And then, like I did say, for example, if you're talking about 100 shillings, that will be mia moja. Moja or uno, U-N-O, or just one, or just in Swahili we do say moja, M-O-J-A, moja. It's just 2 syllables, moja. If, for example, you wanted 1 pen or you wanted anything, you would actually just say ninataka. Ninataka is just the way you express your request. Ninataka, that is I want, that is I want. For example, you're talking about 1 pen, one pen. It's just 1. Ninataka kalamu. Moja is I want 1 pen. I want 1 pen. I want 1 pen. If you wanted 1 book, you were at a library and you were requesting for a book, you just wanted 1 book, you would say kitabu kimoja, 1 book, kitabu kimoja. If you're talking about a spoon, you would actually simply just say kijiko kimoja. That is simply how you would put it. And it isn't difficult. Like I did say, it's actually delightful once you get used to, and once you get, practice makes perfect. Once you start practicing, then you realize that Swahili is actually very, very simple, and you realize that you can actually do it maybe within a period of like 4 or 5 months, with rigorous or your consistent training, consistent practice. Then it means that you'll be able to understand and appreciate this beautiful language of East Africa. There are so many places to go to in East Africa, so many beautiful things to go see. I would actually say Tanzania stands out as one of the places I would actually ask people to just go check out. And not just go check out, but even, for example, when you did have the civil rights movement, and so many people decided to, some people had to go to exile and run for their life. Tanzania was very, very welcoming, and there were so many people that moved to Tanzania. And I think over time they were able to learn the language, and also became integrated into these Swahili, sorry, into the East African country as part of the culture through learning Swahili. So once you do learn a language, the Swahili language, you already have one foot inside. You already have one foot inside, and therefore it is advisable you to take up that particular interest and join us for these Swahili classes that we shall be doing and we shall be learning over here. And for notifications, please turn on your YouTube. You are able to know when these particular classes are on, or usually over the weekends, and that will be around 1 p.m. Sorry, 2 p.m. Eastern time, 2 p.m. Eastern time, and that is when we shall be having these particular classes on here. There's a whole lot of resources on this network. You can visit www.blackwaternetwork.com, click on the social, sign up, and you will be able to network and join the rest of the family on there as well, networking and just unifying our people anywhere globally. So apart from the names of common or the family members, we can also touch on the body parts. So when you're talking about your head, you're talking about your head. In Swahili, we say kichwa, Kichwa, kichwa. If you're talking about the eye, I had given an example earlier on, but you do say jicho. If you're talking about your nose, pua, Pun. Talking about your mouth, we do say mdomo. If someone was to say funga mdomo, that would be shut your mouth, but that would be mdomo, Mdomo, mdomo for mouth. If you're talking about the ear, we do say skio for the ear. If you're talking about the neck, you would say shingo. If you're talking about the chest, we do say kifua. And if you talk about your chest is aching or you're having chest pains, you would say kifua kinauma. That will be my chest is aching. My chest is aching. If you're talking about the thigh, we do say paja. If you're talking about the breast, we do say titi. If you're talking about the buttock, we do say taco. If you're talking about the heart, we do say roho. So if I did say roho yangu, I will be talking about my heart. Roho yangu, I will be talking about my heart. And if you listen to more Swahili songs, you would find them using that particular phrase, roho yangu, because most Swahili songs are very romantic, and I would urge you to listen to some of these particular songs, for example, by artists from both Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda. They would be able to also they would also help you get a gist and a flow of the language, because most of these particular songs these days they have the subtitles. So you might be listening to a jam, it has the subtitles, so you're able to get a gist of what's going on, and also the videos. You'll see with the video, for example, the storyline. Even on a music video, you'll be able to catch on what's going on with this particular song. If they're talking about love, or if you're talking about an experience, or if you're talking about, whatever they're talking about, I think watching some of these Swahili music videos would be actually the way to go. For example, there is a common band, Swahili Sauti Sol, which is a Swahili band, not a Swahili band, but a Kenyan band, an East African band, which has done a whole lot of Swahili songs. There's a song known as a Soma Kijana. I think that is the name of that particular jam. I would actually even just recommend one, Soma Kijana by Sauti Sol. then you would be able to see what's going on. And let me share a little bit of that. I don't know if that would land us into trouble, but also one way to learn Swahili and make it easy is just through music. So you'll be able to catch a glimpse of these.
My work is easy because I use ClickUp. Here's how I keep track of all my tasks. I start by brain dumping everything I need to get done in a list view.
Masiku zilibadilika, kijana, soma soma soma, kijana, masiku zilibadilika, kijana, wazuri wazidi kuzaliwa, na dunia nayo yazidi haribika, kijana, wazuri wazidi kuzaliwa, nayo yazidi haribika, kijana.
That's a jam. I was sharing with you by songs that you can just check out, and they will be able to help you catch a flow of these particular Swahili language. But yes, if you that you asked, we are almost winding up. Sorry, we started a little bit late, but we are almost winding up with this particular one. But remember, we shall pick it up tomorrow, and also next weekend. We shall pick it up tomorrow and also next weekend. And therefore, you can just join us and also turn on the notifications on your YouTube. And also maybe perhaps wherever you might be watching us from, maybe perhaps on Rumble or maybe perhaps on BitChute. Please make sure that you you get to turn on your notifications. So in case swali uliza, tafadhali. Tafadhali simply means please. So kama uko na swali, if you have a question, tafadhali, please uliza, ask. Kama uko na swali, tafadhali uliza, tafadhali. And like I did say, in case you haven't been to East Africa and you're planning to maybe perhaps to East Africa for business, for, just maybe perhaps even resettling back in the motherland, I think one of the ways in which you can get started. So now doing proper planning. I actually saw a video. There was a video I actually did say that was shared on the network website, on the network WhatsApp. And there was this young lady, I'm not sure whether to call her a young lady. There was this lady who had moved to Africa. She had decided, now I'm done with the US. Start my new life there. And then I think things did not quite work out. And then now she had to go back to the US after whatever time she spent on the continent in the motherland. She had to go back. And then I had success stories of just moving to Africa and, things working out. And but then that she experienced so many challenges, or is it maybe perhaps she was not able to do a better planning? Planning is essential if you're planning not just to travel for a trip, but even maybe perhaps you want to just come and reconnect with your roots, establish your roots here, and even maybe perhaps move fully, fully to the motherland. I think language is one of the most important things, and also proper planning. Things might not work, especially when you don't have proper information on what you're getting started with, what you will be doing once you are here, and things like that. Some people have had wonderful stories. I think I have seen Kelis. Kelis has been in Kenya for a while. I'm not sure. I do see some of her posts on her socials, but I'm not sure whether she has learned any Swahili. I would presume that when she's still here and going about her farming and and business. But it's very, very easy for you to reconnect and also to establish your roots once again and do business, connect to the culture and everything else. Once you do get a hold of understanding of the language. So please shall be continuing to learn together and grow together in the knowledge of this particular language. Once again, I want to thank everyone that has been with us on the stream. In case you would have a question of the notes, you can write an email to Blackwood for Africa, to share the notes with you. For now, it's me, your homeboy Spikes, setting out with the same jam that I love to play. And this is the one to sign out. Yes, so let's catch up tomorrow, same time. Please find us on the YouTube and the Rumble and the BitChute as well. And also for updates, just sign up on the Blackwood Network social, and you shall be able to find notifications on when we are doing the live for the Swahili classes. And once again, thank you so much for your time. Till next time, much peace and love. We do say kwaheri, which is a Swahili for goodbye. Kwaheri. Bye bye.